Monday, 16:50, 16 seconds here, 2023, 6th June, 5th day. Now, went over here, trimmed this bush off the wire and off the roof. There's all the gravelings. You got the rake and the wheelbarrow ready for a sift. And this gutter right there was cockeyed up there, so I put it back in spot and flattened it up against the siding to the house. And it just kind of sits in there nice and kind of steady somewhat. Bolt's not too loose. Pounded right back in. So, anyway, trimmed some of the stuff here off this tree so that I could get to it. Now I noticed that the assemblance to having to trim a certain bush is according to what I need to reach to get to. So if something's in the way for me to reach to get to trim this one, then I'm going to trim whatever's on this one to get it out of the way so I can get to the top up there and trim that one. And so that seemed to be the theory, the assemblage theory as to how anything gets trimmed for me. Okay, now this one, I trimmed it away from this power pole. So, legally speaking, these power poles aren't supposed to have anything within 30 feet around them. A 30-foot circle. Or a 15-foot circle, 30 to each side, or whatever the fuck. So they say. So I've heard. But, you know, giving divin here and there. Anyway. So, now as far as the invading border crossing ants go, I broke the board off here that was going from here to the tree, but they had already been planning, because they saw me coming, because I had already had some business, because I trimmed this bush here. And I spoke into the air, and they can understand the communication that I give off. They've been living with me now for many years. But they're going up and down this pole to the ground, and then over to where they need to go. You know, they're kind of having to figure out a new path. Now, this one up here, because they're climbing that pole, coming up and over here, see, they're all in a scurry now. Because they've been figured out. They're trying to figure out, uh-oh is the word. Because there's probably a queen behind this wall here. And they're all about to get sealed up. So I'm giving them opportunity to get their asses out, or else they're gonna be breathless. And it ain't because I killed them. It's because they chose to stay in there and they killed themselves. Right, guys? Yeah, that's right. Get the fuck out of here, quick! Fuck the queen! She's on her own. Queen's on her own. If she don't get out, if she doesn't know how to get out of there, and these guys are going to communicate, because I'm going to give them a little bit of time here. I'm going to cut this right here. I'm going to bevel that, because I can reach in there and I can feel kind of a flooring down there with cut boards and metal and shit. But I'm going to cut this right here. And I'm just going to give me a better view in there. And that's going to give them time. And I'm going to probably give them a little something to think upon. And they've had plenty of time, because I've been down there at the bottom down there. I gave them plenty of cinnamon and clove and vinegar water. It's been at least a week now. 2 weeks, could be 2 weeks. So they've had plenty of time to think to themselves, well, I wonder what Russell's going to bring next. Is this just going to be a one-time thing and he forgets? So they're going to be they've been testing me. They've been figuring out. I'm out here every fucking day on their ass. Every fucking day. And it's getting harder and harder for them. And they're thinking, oh, shit. He found another route, too. Yeah, I'm all over their asses. And it's not that I'm all over their asses. I have to seal the ship up. I can't be having fucking holes in the ship. It needs to float on water as a, you know, a coded symbology for, you know, can't be having ants in there nesting in there, eating all the fucking wood or whatever the fuck, inviting their termite friends or whoever the fuck it might be, you know. Ain't no need for them to be in there. And then they start figuring out paths how to get up into the house from under the floor and all that shit. And then I'll be walking through the house, stepping all over them, and they'll be getting all killed and shit, crawling on me in the bed and all that fucking shit. I'll be wanting to sleep and all that shit. No, that ain't gonna be happening. There's plenty of world out here and dirt and trees and shit, and they can go nest somewhere out here underneath this fucking bush and tree and shit like that. They don't need to be in here. I know they think it's a great thing because when it rains, it sucks, but they can dig under fucking ground. They can put something over the hole. They can figure out how to keep the water from getting into there, or they can move somewhere else to higher ground or wherever the fuck. Right? I mean, that's just common sense. So it isn't like I'm fucking saying, you know, fuck you and kill you and all that shit and kick you out and all that shit. You know, there's certain reasons. I like to enjoy certain space and a certain quality space. See what I'm saying? You know, and if they don't understand that, well, then I'm going to help them comprehend something. If they'd be like a mother to a child, raising a child. All right. So anyway, so there's the update on that. Pull a finger, talk to you later.